Today on the show, I'm going to answer the question, just who are the Doom Patrol? So I'm making this video because recently in another video I said something along the lines of, you should never want the powers of a character in the Doom Patrol. And a lot of people responded with, well, what about Beast Boy? Wasn't he in the Doom Patrol? And yes, technically, but he's actually considered an associate of the Doom Patrol that you're thinking of. He did lead an incarnation of the Doom Patrol, but that specific incarnation of the Doom Patrol is kind of famous for missing the point. I'm just going to kind of give you a quick publication history of the Doom Patrol and tell you kind of what the point of this title is. Because the Doom Patrol has had a lot of incarnations, like 6 or 7. But the thing is, even though they've had a lot of incarnations, when you use the title the Doom Patrol, there is one point that you're supposed to do. And that one point should carry over into every incarnation. And it hasn't. So the Doom Patrol first appeared in My Greatest Adventure number 80 in 1963, and they were a group of freaks that were totally isolated from society, but they were encouraged to use their powers and abilities for the greater good. This team proved to be so popular that My Greatest Adventure was renamed the Doom Patrol from issue number 86 onwards. The villains in this run in the Doom Patrol were just strange. You had Animal Vegetable Mineral Man, you had the Brain, who was literally a brain in a tin can kept alive by technology. Then you had Madame Rouge, who also had the abilities of Elongated Man, but she could also shapeshift her face, but only her face. Then eventually the popularity of this book kind of waned, and because it was a risky book, DC decided to cancel it altogether. So the writers wanted to go out with a bang. So they had the entire cast commit suicide. Well, not really commit suicide, but sacrifice themselves. This was the first time in comic book history where a series ended with most of the cast dying. And yes, for all of you that are wondering, this is the series that Changeling Beast Boy was introduced in, and he didn't kill himself because he wasn't a member, he was an associate of this team. Now the interesting thing about this run of the Doom Patrol is that they originally appeared just a few months before another team with a very similar concept. Another team of freaks that were outcasts from society, that were banded together by a very smart person. I am of course talking about the X-Men. Now due to publication lag, the chance that the X-Men copy the Doom Patrol is incredibly small, but there is that possibility there. No one's denying that possibility is there. Personally, I doubt that X-Men copied the Doom Patrol because of publication lag. I think it was just a title that needed to be created, and two people got the same idea at the same time because it did need to be created. The Doom Patrol would next appear in 1977 in Showcase number 94, and this time they were written by Paul Kupperberg, who was a huge fan of the original series. We would see the return of some things from the previous run of the Doom Patrol, most notably the Negative Spirit, but now the Negative Spirit was inhabiting a woman, and it kind of gave her the same powers as Negative Man, but it didn't make her radioactive. And then another thing that we saw return from the previous incarnation of the Doom Patrol was actually Robot Man, who had apparently survived killing himself. The popularity of the Doom Patrol kind of grew and grew over 10 years, till in 1987 we finally got a new run of the Doom Patrol. And this team were weird, but they weren't the freaks that were in the original run. There was a character that had super strength and was powered by magnets. Then there was a guy who had super hot hands, so he always had to wear protective gloves. And eventually, after 18 issues, the creative team left the Doom Patrol and Grant Morrison took over writing the title. Grant Morrison's run on the Doom Patrol is still talked about to this day. It is the stuff of legends. You had characters like Crazy Jane, who had 64 different personalities in one body, and each of these different personalities had a different power, and in some ways each of them had their own mental affliction. Then there was Dorothy Spinner, a girl with an ape face that had the power to bring her imaginary friends to life, and they stayed alive so long as Dorothy Spinner was alive. And then there was my favorite, Danny the Street. A transgendered street that has the power to be anywhere in the world, and the world will just kind of make room for him. Now don't go thinking Danny's power is teleportation, because it's not. It's to be a street that is anywhere in the world. Then when it came to villains, they were equally strange. There were characters like the Scissormen, who were characters that cut non-fictional beings out of the Doom Patrol's world. They quite literally cut people out of reality. Then there was another character called Red Jack, and he thought he was both Jack the Ripper and God. And he had to torture butterflies to create pain that kept him alive. Grant Morrison took this comic to places where no comics had ever dared go before. He used bizarre secret societies, Dada, surrealism. It was so strange that even the original creator of the Doom Patrol has said that it is the only run of the Doom Patrol that actually did the job that this title was made to do. I'm so thankful that this is one of the first ever runs on comic books that I was exposed to. But after issue number 63, Rachel Pollock took over writing this title. This next run on the Doom Patrol was also really good, but it didn't really have a theme of weirdness so much as focusing on being transgendered, being homosexual, being bisexual, just human identity and weirdly generation gaps. This run on the Doom Patrol did go quite smooth, but it was nowhere near as good as Grant Morrison's run, so after issue number 87 it was cancelled in 1995. Then in 2001 there was another run of the Doom Patrol that I actually totally forgot about, and the characters in this run were accused of being forgettable, which apparently they were, and the series was cancelled after only 22 issues. But then in 2004, another run of the Doom Patrol would start up, but it eliminated all of the Doom Patrol's previous history, which people were outraged by. So the series was cancelled after only 18 issues, and in Infinite Crisis, the Doom Patrol's history was restored. It's also worth saying that during Infinite Crisis and 1 year later, Beast Boy technically became the leader of the Doom Patrol, but this really didn't last long at all. Then just before the New 52, there would be a 5th run on the Doom Patrol, meaning there have been 7 incarnations of the Doom Patrol as a whole. And this run of the Doom Patrol was kind of interesting because it borrowed aspects of every single run. It just wasn't all that weird. It was nice because you had characters like Negative Man working alongside Crazy Jane, and I think even Ambush Bug joined the team this time, which was very interesting to see. Then in May 2011, the series would be cancelled due to a decrease in sales. And then the New 52 happened. In the New 52, they have appeared in Justice League number 30, and there are a lot of shout-outs to Grant Morrison's run on the Doom Patrol. Not really in lineup, but in the way their story is unfolding, which I'm very excited to see more of. So to answer the question, who are the Doom Patrol? They are DC's avatar for mental illness and DC's avatar for self-harming. They have powers that can help people in every way imaginable, but by using these powers, these characters are harming themselves in every way imaginable. 62 powers for 62 different personalities and 62 different mental afflictions. You have everything but nothing at the same time. You can be anywhere in the world and you're always with people, but you're a street. So even though you're always with people, you're always alone. You are all powerful, but you're radioactive. So even if you do get near people, you're going to hurt them. I love the Doom Patrol. It's not a title that every writer is going to get right, but when they do get it right, it creates stories that are just going to be talked about for years and years.
It's super effective!
Okay guys, that is it for today. So what do you think of the Doom Patrol now? Please let me know in the comments down below. And also don't forget to thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. And also don't forget to like me on Facebook, follow me on Twitter, support the show by checking out my Patreon so I can make bigger and better and more history videos. And also don't forget to subscribe to my gaming channel. My name is Faust, this has been Exploring Comics, and it is super effective.